Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a focused look at something really interesting. It's an excerpt from Indonesian language learning materials.
Yeah, it's titled Respect Your Indonesian Teacher.
Right. And we're treating it like a bit of a cultural keyhole. We've got the dialogue, vocab, grammar notes, cultural stuff.
Exactly. The plan isn't just, learn some Indonesian words. It's more about seeing what this one lesson reveals about the culture, communication, that sort of thing.
Okay, sounds good. Let's dive right into the dialogue then. It's between Lisa and Surya. And Lisa starts off saying, Murid saya tidak memahami saya. My students don't understand me.
Yeah, and then she adds that she feels a tanggung jawab yang besar, a big responsibility.
Because the students are sangat pintar, very smart. It kind of sets a serious tone right away, doesn't it?
It does, and Surya's first reaction is just masa.
Which translates to really.
Right, but the notes say it can have this edge of disbelief, or maybe like he's questioning her assessment.
So not just a simple, oh really, more like, are you sure about that?
Exactly, it adds a subtle layer.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gently pushing back on her worry.
That's interesting. Then he says, Jangan khawatir, kamu punya banyak waktu, mereka akan belajar.
Which is?
Don't worry, you have a lot of time, they'll learn. It's quite direct, but also, calming.
Yeah, that focus on you have time and they'll learn. It's very patient.
It makes you wonder if that's like a cultural thing, emphasizing the long game in learning.
Could be. Instead of jumping to fix it, the first step is reassurance. That itself says something about communication, maybe.
Good point. Okay, let's look at some of the vocabulary here. We've got pintar, smart, khawatir, to worry, belajar, to study. Pretty standard stuff.
And murid for student, besar for big, punya means to have.
Waktu is time, mereka is they, and of course masa, which we just talked about.
But the real meat is in how some words work, like tanggung jawab for responsibility.
Right, the lesson breaks it down. Tanggung is to bear, and jawab is to respond.
So responsibility is literally bearing a response. You can feel the weight in that etymology.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. And then adding ber makes it the verb bertanggung jawab, to be responsible or take responsibility.
Exactly. The examples help too. Say, bertanggung jawab, I'm responsible.
And kamu harus bertanggung jawab atas kesalahan kamu. You should take responsibility for your own mistake. It feels quite active.
Definitely. Then there's memahami, to understand.
Okay, what's the deal with that one?
Well, it's got the formal prefix me and the suffix I added to the root baham, understand. This signals a sort of deeper, more formal understanding.
So it's not just like the everyday word for get it.
Right. The lesson contrasts it with magarity, or even the super casual ingarity. You'd use memahami in more formal settings.
Like the example, dia sudah memahami cerita itu. He understood that story. Formal context.
Precisely. It raises that question of, register. When do you use which word?
Is that something a beginner needs to stress over right away? Or just be aware of?
I'd say awareness first. Knowing the nuance exists is important for later, for navigating different situations.
Okay, now grammar time. Expressing ownership with punya.
Yeah, to have, to own, to possess. The conjugation seems straightforward. Saya punya, kamu punya, dia punya. I have, you have, he has.
And the dialogue uses it directly. Lisa says, saya punya tanggung jawab yang besar. I have a big responsibility.
And Surya says, kamu punya banyak waktu, you have a lot of time. reinforces it nicely.
But here's the key thing, right? Punya means to have, but it's not exactly like English have.
Crucial distinction. The lesson points out you don't use it as a helping verb.
Right. You can't say like, I punya finished. That's a common trap, assuming a one-to-one match.
Totally. English have does double duty. Indonesian punya is purely about possession or having something.
Got it. And then it shows how you make possessive pronouns with punya, like punya saya for mine.
Yeah, punya kamu, yours, punya dia, his, etc.
The examples are clear. Buku-buku itu punya kamu. Those books are yours.
Mobil ini punya kami. This car is ours. It's a neat little grammatical construction.
Okay, so that's the language stuff. But this lesson really shines, I think, in the cultural insight section.
Agreed. It talks about the respect for teachers in Indonesia. Calls their social status very high.
Yeah, like parents outside the home.
Wow. That phrase really lands, doesn't it?
It completely reframes Lisa's feeling of responsibility. It's not just a job, it's like a significant social role she's filling.
Absolutely. And it mentions the relationship is close, but also hierarchical. Respect is paramount.
You see it in the customs, like students standing up and greeting the teacher formally when they enter or leave.
Good morning, ma'am or sir. It's a very tangible sign of that respect and hierarchy.
Definitely paints a different picture than maybe some other classrooms you might imagine.
And the lesson is quite upfront about teachers being strict.
Yeah, willing to punish for disobedience, not doing homework, talking.
Even rules about appearance. No colored hair, no nail polish. It sounds quite structured.
Very structured.
And this leads to an interesting point the lesson makes. That this strictness can mean students are afraid to make mistakes in front of the teacher.
Ooh, that's a significant observation. Respect is obviously good, but if it creates a fear of error...
Right. Does that potentially hold students back from asking questions or trying something they're unsure about? Things crucial for learning.
It brings us right back to Lisa, doesn't it? My students don't understand me, coupled with her big responsibility.
Exactly. In this cultural context, high teacher status, potential student fear or concerns feel even heavier. It's not just about language barriers.
It's about navigating that whole teacher role within Indonesian cultural expectations.
So, yeah, this deep dive shows how even a simple language lesson, dialogue and vocab can open up a huge window.
It's way beyond just the words. It's communication styles, social roles, core values.
Like the immense respect for teachers. That short chat between Lisa and Surya, it's packed with underlying cultural meaning.
Which leaves us with something to think about, maybe for you listening to. If you have this strong emphasis on teacher respect, potentially leading to some student hesitation, how does that actually shape the day-to-day learning environment?
That's a great question. And flipping it around.
Yeah.
What assumptions do we bring from our own cultural backgrounds about how classrooms should work?
Yeah.
About how students and teachers should interact?
Right. How might understanding a context like this one in Indonesia challenge or broaden those assumptions? Definitely gives you something to chew on.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.